A director returns after 20 years, The Color Line and GE are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is April 15th, 2022. It is the 105th day of the year. There are 260 days left in 2022. It is the 15th Friday in the 16th week and the 27th day of spring. Today is normally tax day. April 15th is tax day. This year we don't have to have it in till Monday, which is the 18th. Right now, across the country, accountants are consuming tons of Starbucks and energy drinks. This is the hardest part of their year. Today is Good Friday. It's also National Rubber Eraser Day. Before the invention of rubber erasers, people used tablets made of wax to remove lead and charcoal marks from paper. Even materials such as sandstone and bread have been used historically to undo writing and scribbles. In 1770, Edward Narine, I think that's his name, an English engineer, went on to develop the first rubber erasers and sold them for 3 shillings per half-an-inch cube. The raw rubber material, however, was perishable. But along came Charles Goodyear, who made a revolutionary discovery of the process called vulcanization of rubber. The method cured the rubber and made it more durable. Following this, rubber erasers became a stable, stationary item. All right, let's see what else April 15th has given us. 1755, Samuel Johnson's A Dictionary of the English Language is published in London. 1865, President Abraham Lincoln dies after being shot the previous evening by actor John Wilkes Booth. Vice President Andrew Johnson becomes the president upon Lincoln's death. Talked about this yesterday, how it was a big conspiracy. Very interesting story. I mean, the whole thing's a mess, and it's horrible that a president was shot and assassinated and all that stuff. But like I was saying yesterday, most people don't know that there was a whole big conspiracy going on with this. 1892, General Electric Company is formed. GE's kind of an interesting American company. I mean, I read one time that their law firm had over 1,200 lawyers back in the mid-2010s. They don't just make electronic devices like they did in the early days. These days, they got their hands in healthcare, aviation, renewable energy, GE's digital businesses, financial services, insurance, gas, electricity. They're in everything. It's a little different than what it was back in 1892 when it was founded by Thomas Edison, Charles Coffin, and J.P. Morgan. Things have changed. 1922, U.S. Senator John B. Kendrick of Wyoming introduces a resolution calling for an investigation of the secret land deal, which leads to the discovery of the Teapot Dome scandal. Now, this was very interesting. The Teapot Dome scandal was a bribery scandal involving the administration of then-President Warren G. Harding. What happened was the Secretary of the Interior, Albert Bacon Fall, his middle name was Bacon, he had leased Navy petroleum reserves at Teapot Dome, Wyoming, as well as 2 other locations in California to private oil companies at a low rate without getting competitive bids. Well, it seemed a little weird, so they investigated it. The investigation went on for 2 years, and Secretary Fall kind of backed away from the whole thing. And he was covering up his trail, and for a while it looked like nothing was wrong. They were just, lowballed contracts that no one really got to compete with, so it wasn't illegal at this point until they started questioning how he got so rich all of a sudden. What happened was these oil companies were actually feeding money into his ranch that he had in Montana. He also got loans from the companies that now had the leases to this oil land that were those kind of loans that you never have to repay. What's strange about this whole thing is he was pretty much considered innocent, and it was all going away until Warren G. Harding died in office. Once he died in office, a lot of things came forward, and they found out a lot of scandals and a lot of corruption that was going on while he was in office. This Teapot Dome scandal was one of them. Convicted of accepting bribes from oil companies, Fall became the first presidential cabinet member to go to prison. No one was convicted for paying the bribes. Before the Watergate scandal, Teapot Dome was regarded as the greatest and most sensational scandal in the history of American politics. These days, it seems kind of tame. They always say money is the root of all evil, and I think that's especially true when it comes to politics. I've always thought they need to have a different plan for politics. Like politicians, they get a pay, normal pay, but the only other way they get money, not through donations from anyone else, but the government actually gives them like bonuses for where their approval rating stands with their constituents. Honestly, if you get a politician that's getting like 90% approval rating from his constituents in whatever area his state, his county, whatever. I mean, most Americans would be happy if $1 million out of the budget went to him as a bonus, if it meant oil companies and, giant corporations didn't pay his salary, so to speak. All right, moving on. 1947, Jackie Robinson plays his first game for the Brooklyn Dodgers, breaking baseball's color line. 2013, 2 bombs explode near the finish line of the Boston Marathon in Boston, Massachusetts, obviously, killing 3 people and injuring 264 others. This jackaloon, the one that survived, it was 2 brothers that did this, in case you didn't follow the story, but he's trying to say that, he's just trying to get out of it. He's obviously involved. It turned into this big police shootout. He was wounded and he's in jail and he's trying to get his conviction overturned and all this nonsense. That's happening in Boston. These people are brutal. Like if he did this in California, I want my conviction overturned. I think I was wrongfully persecuted and all this. A California, politician or judge might go, maybe we should look at this to make sure it's okay. Maybe there were some errors in his conviction. In Boston, they got a different attitude. I would not be shocked if some politician wouldn't like to walk down to his jail cell and go, you know what? Why don't you shut up before we kick your ass too? They're a different breed of cat out there in Boston. 2019, the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, France, obviously. There's 2 Parises. There's one in Texas. This, the one in France, that's really cool. It's seriously damaged by a large fire. I remember when this happened. That was just horrible. Something that beautiful and that historic just damaged by a fire. And I guess it was just a construction guy made a mistake or something to do with the construction that was going on there, the renovation of it. Too bad. Movies released on April 15th, 1988. Colors. This was Dennis Hopper's directorial return after 19 years, a little over 19 years. The last thing he directed was Easy Rider. Anyway, this is a great movie starring Sean Penn and Robert Duvall as LA cops. Robert Duvall's an experienced cop. Sean Penn's a new rookie that's a hothead, and they have to deal with all the gangs in LA, and it's just a great movie. If you've never seen Colors, it's really good. It's got Don Cheadle, Damon Wayans. It's got even Mario Lopez from Saved by the Bell. He played in the movie. Interesting fact, Sean Penn was arrested for punching an extra on set who had been taking pictures of Penn without his permission, which is totally legal. I mean, it might not be okay for the movie studio. Maybe they have some policy and the guy can get fired, but it's perfectly legal to take pictures of people in public. Sean Penn was a little bit of a hothead back when he was young. He pulled a gun on some friends of mine. At least that's their story. They were big fans of Madonna back in the day, and they decided to go take pictures of her house that she shared with Sean Penn when they were together. Well, while they're taking pictures, a car pulls up. It's Sean Penn. He's got a gun in his hand. I don't know how true that is. That was their story, and I know these guys, and I don't think they lied. Born on April 15th, 1982, Seth Rogen. I love his movies. Comedian, actor known for his roles in such films as Knocked Up, Neighbors, and The 40-Year-Old Virgin. He won a Canadian Comedy Award for Best Writing for his film Superbad, which was hysterical. He's been in so many good movies the last couple of years. I follow him on Instagram. He's really into pottery for some reason. He originally found success starring in Judd Apatow's show Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared. Those were pretty good shows. Died on April 15, 2001, we lost Joey Ramone. He was the vocalist and guitarist who led the punk rock band The Ramones. Known for songs like Blitzkrieg Bop, I Want to Be Sedated. It's a really weird band. They're great. Their music was always catchy. They just weren't that talented, it didn't seem like. I'm not a hardcore musician. Maybe there's something I was missing, but they always sounded like a garage band, even when they were huge. He was born Jeffrey Ross Hyman in 1951 in Queens, New York. He was only 49 when he died. In 1995, he was diagnosed with lymphoma. He kept his condition private until it was revealed in March of 2001. He was just a month away from his 50th birthday. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day, be nice to each other.